Saturday in 2 weeks' time we've got the BATC convention on Zoom and on the streamer. More details to follow, but running from about 10 till 4 on Saturday 24th of October. And it's probably worth taking a look at the AMSAT colloquium on this Sunday on Zoom, and the RSGB convention on this Saturday. Trying a different camera this week, so please comments on the video. Should be 720p, fairly reasonable from a C920. Let's start the order with G7JTT, John, followed by, I see Jim. I'm not sure whether Jim's transmitting. Let's go for Colin after John. Thanks, John, for the comment. G4KLB. Then Jim, G0DQH, Mike, G0JW, and is Steve 2E0XAY. I saw his video. I wonder if, but he was a channel down. I'm not sure whether he's going to join us. It would be good if he could and come up on the chat and tell me. And Jim, G7NTG, come up on the chat. Yes, you are. Okay, you're on the list after Mike MJW, Jim. So that's good. I'll put the list up on the chat in a moment, but John, G7JTT, to take it first from GHEKQ.
Right, good evening all. Hopefully everything's working. I've no doubt get my audio in a second. Let me just mute that. 1 2 1 2. Yeah. Right. As always, not too much. Although I have got a show and tell today. I actually got it from up your neck of the woods, to be honest, Dave. Somebody was flogging a satellite receiver, 12-volt jobby, which was no good. It's only S as opposed to S2. With one of these little portable caravan type things, satellite dishes. So I've got a, where is it? Konig, is it Konig? Sure, you'll see that on there. Tripod, which is very useful. A bit tatty, but very solid still. Seems to be made of aluminium, so it's quite light. That with a 85cm dish for a tenner. So it was just over the back of Tesco's at Pathfinders. So I shot up there and bought that very quickly. I've been after one of those tripods for a while actually. I don't know why, but yeah, hey, it's another thing to keep in the shed, isn't it? So that's that. Now, I don't know if anyone's been noticing, but the past couple of days there has been, now I've got to try and do this without things going wrong. Right, let's just do that. So the past couple of days I've been noticing there's some strange little signals again. Now I can't really get the point on this as well, but if you look there, what you're seeing is the Rob software on the top left hand corner. There's a 500 meg signal there, and just to the right of the 500 meg signal there is two little spikes, whichever you call it. When you look at it on an SDR, don't worry about the drift there, it's down to my LNB not being locked, but basically there are 4 tones in there. I don't recognise the mode because there doesn't seem to be any it's not like JT4 or something where you would expect those tones to turn on and off. It just appears that the 2 outside ones are stronger than the 2 inside ones, but there are definitely tones there. That's been received by me and by Goon Hilly, so one would assume it's a real signal. But yeah, I don't know if anyone recognises what sort of signal that may possibly
Okay then, thanks a lot, John. Very good. I'm having a. Okay then, thanks a lot, John. I have to press auto pin twice actually. I'm having a. Okay then, thanks a lot, John. I've got the squeaky voice now. I don't know what I don't know what's going on there. So I've got the squeaky voice now. I don't know what. That's a bit odd, isn't it? I've got the Mickey Mouse voice. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, oh dear, oh dear. Yes, I did have to press auto pin for my own one actually. I don't generally have to do that. I'm probably being naughty with the 3/4. I imagine a Ryde won't have any issues whatsoever with that, but that's okay. Well, this week we've mainly. Oh yeah, just going back to the first bit. Yes, that was very good. John was saying there was a funny signal. I didn't observe that one straight away, and I went down to a signal, and it was it was Albert on there, who is a regular viewer to GB3SQ almost every night actually, for many years actually. So very pleased. Then I could quickly put him onto SQ. So that was a bit of fun. Very good indeed. Regular contributor to our cause. So that was really quite good actually. But yeah, mainly it's been domestic issues this week. I'm actually quite pleased because we've got quite a bit done this week. Not radio related, unfortunately, but nonetheless, a number of jobs that needed to be done, have got done. So that's good. The main task was to get an MOT for the ATV vehicle, which is actually my only form of transport at the moment, and so it was quite important that van passed the test. Otherwise, I would have been stuck somewhat. So I was prepared to put my hand in my pocket, but I didn't need to. I spent the previous week really just tinkering and going through one or two things to make sure she'd get through. So I'm over the moon. I was rather hoping that this week I would have had the chance to have actually gone out and messed about with it, but start putting the gear back in. A lot of equipment gets taken out when it goes in to be tested at the garage, for obvious reasons, so they don't strangle themselves on the cables, etc. So it hadn't really all got back in from the previous year, actually, because we've had one or two things going on here. But hopefully we'll be able to get out, a few days. The weather hasn't been brilliant this week, but I did have, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday we spent the whole day doing outdoor jobs, climbing on the roof, that sort of thing. So that went all very well. Got it all done. So not really been able to play all that much. Spent last night seeing what this Zoom thing is all about. That appears to be all functional. So we'll be doing some testing in advance of that. So we'll see how that all works. I've got the OBS working on there. It seems to work quite well. I think it'll do everything I need it to do. I've just got to practice a little bit more so we don't make any silly mistakes. But nonetheless, that should be fine. So yeah, looking forward to the Cat 20. It's not very far ahead now, actually. Not very far ahead. And just for once, my shifts work out okay for me. Everything this year has coincided with the week that I have to do a 12-hour Saturday, 12-hour Sunday. All the contests and everything, really. It's been a bit of a disaster this year. But and obviously with the other goings on. But never mind. Okay, then that's probably enough from me. There's been lots of postings, haven't there? Let's have a look. So it's the other Jim, DG0DQH to take it. G4KLB.
Okay, G0DQH, just turn the audio down. Okay, I too have been very busy this week. I do work part-time as you know, but there are lots of other jobs to do as well, and I'm trying to get to cut the lawn. I've got painting to do, and Maureen's late dad, her bungalow, or his bungalow rather, is up for sale, so we've got to go down and cut the lawn tomorrow, if it's dry that is. So it's one of those jobs I have to do. At this point I'd like to say good evening to Mary down there in Loxheath. Mary very kindly sold me my dish over a year ago now, and it's been stuck down the bottom of the garden working really well all that time, and thank you for that, Mary. And I did get in contact with her in the week, and she hopefully is watching the streaming tonight. So let's have a look. This is the dish, Mary, that you sold me, and it's doing a sterling job. John, tonight I couldn't resolve the picture from you. I tried auto PID, but I'm being a bit naughty tonight. I'm running a little bit more power than I should be. I actually use the line gain to adjust the power output. It's 88 at the moment. If I go to 87, I get about 7 dB, so it's not quite so good. It drops quite considerably, but there you go. What else can I show? Come on. I keep getting a disconnect on the internet, and all of a sudden oh, here you are. So I could show you a couple of other pictures. Mary. That's the orange bit in the middle is the TX antenna. To the right we have the LMB for receive. So we transmit and receive at the same time, incidentally, all on the same dish, using the same dish. And this is the PA, the power amplifier, which is now tucked away nicely in the garage, and I don't have to go out in the rain down behind the dish anymore. So yeah, there it is. It sits in there nicely. Temperature is 17 degrees. I can stay on all day if I want to, and it won't move from there. So the fans are doing a really good job to keeping that cool. Okay, that's about it from me, I think. I'll pass it back to the next person. I think is G0MJW from G0DQH, and maybe.
Right. Turn off the feedback so I can hear myself. Well, there aren't very many signals on the transponder, at least there weren't until just now. Now there are loads of them. There's interesting things going on, I think. Anyway, hello everyone. G0MJW. Just messing around with the multi-tuner. See how it's going. And all seems to be okay. Streaming to my own PC. rather than trying to display stuff on the Pi. Looks like Eve is trying to send some low bandwidth bunny. Anyway, go back to the main picture. Hopefully you can actually hear me this time. And Jim's going to be there as well. That's good to see. So the builder of power amplifiers. Let's see how that goes. I've not really done anything. I've designed a couple of PCBs and a few other things, but I've not done very much apart from that. One thing I did do last weekend is get the talk ready for Sunday for the AMSAT UK colloquium. I hope everyone's going to be listening to the AMSAT UK colloquium. For those who don't know, it's on Sunday. Oh, and by the way, AMSAT UK colloquium is on Sunday. Right, that's enough from me. So let's carry on round. Lots of people are waiting, I think. And I think it's Jim next. Is that right? Yeah. G7N2G, G0MJW.
A little bit of delay there before I actually come on. So not got used to this yet. I'm turning the sound off as well at this end, otherwise it becomes objectionable with the echo. Good evening all, first time on net, and very pleasant to speak to you all. And I'm sorry about the complete lack of sync between video and audio. It's because I'm using a PiCam and a separate audio microphone unit on the USB, so it's a little, so don't watch my lips. Yes, so I've been, as Mike said, been building a few PAs using these boards from Poland, which I bought a big stack of, very, very cheap, and I've managed to get a lot of guys on the air now by simple conversion of these boards, turning them into a 150 watt amplifier, which they do very nicely with a good driver. So I've even sent to Italy and Greece, so they've gone very, very well, as have the 23 SEMS amplifiers, the old G4 BAO printed circuit boards that I had done, because I've managed to get hold of a huge load of suitable transistors from the UK, from old stock, and so it's 140 kits went out. They've all gone, everybody snapped them up, so really good. I'm using a Portson 4, which you can see in front of me, with a PiCam, and I'm receiving it on a Ryde. Ryde works very nicely, but if there's a strong station on an adjacent channel, it'll lock on to that. So that's interesting for a start. I'll get used to it yet. If I want to change audio input, I have to reboot the Portson 4 completely. You can't just stop transmitting and switch it over and then go on again. It just won't have it. It won't work. And I've noticed that sometimes the PTT pin doesn't work, so to reboot again. But these are all the idiosyncrasies of Portson software, I think. I don't think we're ever going to get completely rid of all. There'll always be something will crop up. I'm sure Dave will agree with me on that. You think you've got everything and then something else happens. But yeah, and sometimes when you switch it on, all you get is the rainbow screen and it stays on that. So, but I'm getting used to it. It's beginning to work nicely. But anyway, thanks for letting me on, and I will pass on to the next one, which I believe is G4HJW. Bernie. So that I would say 73 is from G.
Yes, okay, G4HJW, thank you, Jim. And am I hearing audio yet? No, I can't be having this trouble again, surely. If somebody will tell me whether I'm putting audio out, but I'm not hearing it myself. So I'll keep my eye on the text on the. Oh, the audio's fine. Thank you, Colin. That's okay. I'm still having problems. I've noticed other people, well, before I got on, were having various problems, and I thought, oh, you know, why is that? But you do seem to have so many different things to look at. Anyway, I've got a PC in front of me on the not on the BATC one, but on the Spectrum display from Goonhilly. So if it all goes wrong, I'll see it on there. And yes, Jim, you're on for the first time, but I was only on the first time last week. Everything had seemed to be working okay, but I suddenly started getting glitches, if you remember, and when I looked at the CPU usage, it was very high. And cutting a long story short, I just changed the PC. But a funny thing is, and that PC is running about 40%, but if I go over to H.265, it transmits okay without apparently any problems. When I look at the CPU usage, it's up at 100%, so I still really don't know what's going on. Anyway, I think you'll see, I'm Bernie, by the way. I'm just to the east of Cambridge, and there's quite a few of us here are about to get on, but I realised when I looked at the history of this net, John BAO was on the very first net, and John is only what, about 3, 4, 5 miles away from me in Waterbeach. But we're going to have just to confuse things for James, we're going to have G0VQH coming on soon. We'll have G6, she's near Newmarket. We'll have Dave G6 GZH up at Tips End, and if you've any idea where that is, you're doing well. But it's north, to the side of March, I would say, and then G8 MLA, also out in the middle of the fens. So we are in danger of taking over, so I'll get my apologies in now. Anyway, I don't know how much was missed last week, so I'm running 10 watts. Let me just, I don't want to overstay my welcome, so I am watching time. But I'll just put up the antenna system. It's purely by chance. I've got a 2.4 metre dish, so I'm only having to run 10 watts on 2.4. I was having trouble on receive with my Region 2 Sky dish, so I managed to get this, yes, it's come up now, a 1.3, 1.2 metre dish, and I'm not spot on yet, so there's one station I'm not copying, I think it's John, but it's no problem, John. I just go over to the streamer, thanks to Dave, and I'm watching you on there. So what else on that? Receive side is very standard, so no point in talking about that. I am using the Pluto, but because I'd built up a transverter, it was just easier, and the levels were such. I through the transverter at 400 megs. It's just one of those things, it's easier. Transmitter wise, I've got the PA in the drive. Oh, I need to hit the fade. I put that just behind the antenna, so that's on its own, and I'm just driving that. The transverter's only running 100 milliwatts or something like that. And most of the stuff I'm using is the stuff that came up from Daz down in Swindon. I'm sure nearly all of you must be familiar with what a great job he did of fetching stuff out of the skip when that company died. I mean, that gear must be all over the country. Anyway, I know I do talk too much, so I'll put it back. I think we've gone full circle, haven't we? Oh, that's okay, John. No, don't worry about that. I'll put it on, so as I say, I can go on to the BATC streamer, so I am copying you, it's not a problem, but having 3 PCs running all same time and needing to keep an eye on them has been a bit taxing for my very small brain. Anyway, on to you, Dave. I think that's right, we've gone full circle. Yeah. So, on to you, Dave. Apologies if I've got that wrong. G8GKQ in the group. G4HJW just to the side of Cambridge.
G4HJW in the net. G8GKQ. Audio, that's great. Let's just go up one on the power, just make sure everybody can get me. Right. Good selection of stations there. Good to see really good pictures there, Bernie, and good audio. And that's quite a monster dish. I wonder how you managed to keep it from running away. And Jim, good pictures. Yes, audio switching is I haven't quite sorted out in the Portsdown. It's great for if you're using what you started with when you boot up. As for the PTT problem, I'm not sure about that one. I haven't heard of that one, so not really. Haven't got any ideas on that. John, nice tripod, and I don't know what those 4 tones are. So what have I been up to this week? Well, I did do some shopping. I bought one of these fellows, a Bullseye LMB. I just thought I'd see what they were like as they were on special offer. I haven't even unboxed it yet. I suppose I could do that on air, but that would be really boring. Been working on the Ryde receiver, minor bug. We've cured the original minor bug, but I think I found another one which is a real pain, so still working on that one. Been doing some work with the Portsdown 4 and the Pluto to make a signal generator out of the Portsdown 4 system. And that's been quite successful. I've now got in the development release out where you can select any frequency between 50 megs and 6 gigs, any level between about +5 dBm and about -40 or 50 or something like that. And the Pluto will put a signal out for you. So just another useful tool for the shack for anybody who's running a Portsdown 4 with a Pluto connected. And the other thing, of course, that's taken the time is Cat20. We've done some serious planning for that. Colin's been roped in to talk about Cure 100, and we're working out how all the Zoom and everything is going to work, so we can put on a professional day's talks there. Right, that's about all from me this time round. It goes round to John, G7JTT to take it, G8GKQ and the BATC Net.
You caught me off guard. I forgot I was going to have a second go. Right, where are we? Let's just get rid of my audio. Right, that's that gone. Right, yeah, looking forward to the cat thing. I'm hoping that once Colin works out what time he needs to do his bits and pieces, I shall get home and have a QSO with him on Cure 100. There is also on the same day the is it Grimstone, whatever it's called, I can't remember what the call sign is now, SAQ or something, the 70 home in time to. So really looking.
Okay, thanks a lot, John. Excellent. I'm just waiting to hear myself come through. There we are. That's it. That's working. Very good. Okay. Yes. Hope you're back in back in time. We'll be doing something live, just to add a bit of interest, little spice to it. So, something's liable to go wrong, but I've prepared on an alternative if you don't make it back. I haven't got another signal, but there's usually somebody about who can help out. But we'll see how that goes. So that's good. Yes, I did get an email saying thank you for offering to present at Cat20. So I thought I'd better send an email saying I could do it. So no, I know why that happened. Obviously, that went out to all the others who were already ahead. So that'd be good. That'd be fine. So it'd be an experience. Be an experience. At least I haven't got to drive halfway across the country. So it's quite convenient, really, actually. But luckily, I will be off that day. So that's good. Okay. Only other thing I've got is I could do this unboxing video. I'm actually using one of these right now, actually, for receive. So it's just mischievous. I couldn't help myself, and so there we are. As Dave quite right said, it is pretty boring. But so enough of that. I couldn't resist it. So oh dear. But yeah, seems to be working fine. I'm not sure if it's quite as good as the one that came down. The one that came down is this one. I had to replace it because I had one of these, which is in the box of the one I used, and this little joker went low gain on me. After spending ages fiddling with the dish, I found that this, you can see it's been up a while. It's been up a little while. This one just went low gain. This one's had a TCXO mod on it, but just went low gain. I haven't had the chance to take it apart to see what's gone wrong, but probably fixable, that one, actually. Otherwise, I can take the necessary bits out of it and redo another one. So, but I quite like the Octagons. They work pretty well. This one's, say, with a TCXO mod, but the Bullseye's been doing well. I received a 35 kilosymbol signal from Mike this evening. So you can't ask for more than that, really. That's where some of them fall down on the very narrow side of things. But there we go. Well, the video's a little bit slow actually on the receive side at the minute. But I'm using a Portsdown, one of the older ones actually, with a Raspberry Pi 3 this evening. I'm fancy trying a few other things actually. So I just didn't have time today. I was going to try sticking the signal from OBS in because it would give me a little bit more latitude. Normally I use just a little easy cap, but I find when I switch video inputs it causes it to crash occasionally. So I'm not quite sure. Just a peculiarity of this system, it doesn't really like it. And Jim there, with his one of amplifier fame, I should say, had demonstrated quite nicely that audio issue that I have been plagued with in the past, with the popping and going when using some other audio device. Interesting that you're not using an EasyCap but using something else, but exactly the symptoms I often have. I'll just have a quick listen to my audio. Oh, I'm getting it's all over the place at the minute. Right, okay then. Right, I'm not sure if there's something wrong with my signal or whether it's just my reception. I'll just do a auto PID. See if it seems to be a bit jumpy to me actually on the receive. Yeah, something weird going on there. Anyway, okay, that's it. Round to G0DQ8 then to take it. G4KLB. Waiting a short time for it to get through.
Yep, okay. I don't know why I can't receive you tonight, John. I tried everything here, pushing all the buttons, but nothing seemed to work, so must be the weather. My dish could have moved. It's fairly well anchored actually. It's got sandbags on it as well, and we did have to readjust that about 6 months ago, but it could just be the wet and the soil around the dish is probably sunk. I don't know. Maybe it does need a tweak. So when the weather gets better, not at the moment. So there you go. Okay, well that's really about it from me. So I'll say good evening and catch everyone on the net next week, hopefully. From
Caught me by surprise then. Just turn that off. Not sure why it's having such trouble at the moment. Is my signal too weak? No, I don't think so. Reasonably strong with me. Mind you, I don't know how it is with other people. Everyone seems to be experimenting with different bit rates at the moment, and it's going mad on the transponder. Everyone's at 66 kilosymbols apart from us. But the strange thing is I can't receive the beacon, so I guess it's banjaxed again. Probably. That'll be what it is. Me, mind you, I don't know how it is with other people. Everyone seems to be experimenting with different bit rates at the moment, and it's going mad on the transponder. Everyone's at 66 kilosymbols apart from us. But the strange thing is I can't receive the beacon, so I guess it. Hopefully that's a bit better, and you can receive me okay, Jim, making a nice strong signal. Right, not a lot else to add apart from don't forget the AMSAT UK colloquium on Sunday, and of course the following week, or is it 2 weeks after, BATC are going to do the CAT 20, which should be interesting. I think they're doing it via Zoom as well, so we will see what happens. Okay, that's about it really as far as I've got, so catch up with everyone next week. Yes, John, well, it's actually on the 11th of October, so that's next Sunday, just in case you didn't hear. Right, G0MJW, going to pass it over to, it doesn't say who's next, it just says the beacon's not working. So, I don't know, whose go is it? We will see. Maybe it's Dave. G0MJW.
get a picture of myself. I've got locked no video, but I can hear my sound. So yes, thanks Mike. G0MW, this is G7N2G. And Colin, you said mine was cutting in and out like an easy cap. Well, I am using an easy cap, so you can see the easy cap there, possibly, when it gets round to it. And I'm using a microphone amplifier with a built-in microphone to drive it. It's the insert from a Shure microphone, a stage microphone, driving all amplifier, and it's got a volume control on it, so it's a bit versatile. I can adjust the volume directly and easily rather than trying to do it in software. And during the last over, a station came up right next to Mike, and my Ryde receiver switched over and received him, but was still receiving Mike's sound. So that was strange. So, all little bugs and everything. And yeah, I understood the bugs with the audio changeover, Dave. Fully appreciated. It's just, you get used to driving these things, and remember, once you've started with one audio system, then you stick with it, and don't go messing about trying to change it at all. Not in midstream anyway. I did buy a C920 webcam, and that's going to be a few days before I receive it. So we'll see how I get on with that. I thought at the time I got one, now they've come down in price, they're no longer, you can get them for about £100 instead of 150 as they were, which I thought was a bit steep. So I managed to secure a new one for 100 quid, so we'll see how that works. It's from the UK, so it should be alright. Anyway, right, I'm going to pass it on to G4HAW, to Bernie. So, enough from me, so this is, we'll say G4HAW from G7NT.
Right, I'll have a little bit more signal. I'm almost at maximum gain at this part of the band, and thank you for that, John. I had exactly the same thing as you. I was hearing Mike's audio when XAY was showing up on video, and I couldn't work that out, but I didn't realise it was adjacent. I've got the waterfall display on, and I hadn't twigged that part of it. Anyway, you'll see I've got my crib sheet. Really, the only reason for that is when I sit sideways on, I find it embarrassing to look at all the paunch, so I'm not going to let you see that. That's why I'm sitting this way. But I have made notes, otherwise I'll be in trouble. Oh yes, to you again, Jim, sorry. The audio delay, I struggled. I'm using VMAX, and all this is new to me, and that did take me a while to find out where the delay setting was, and I was looking at the settings button on the top right hand side of the main screen. I didn't realise you needed to, well, because I was bringing in audio is going straight into the PC and into the DATV Express and not going via vMix. So eventually I found that you have to waste an input screen just on audio, unless there's another way of doing it. And in that menu, when you bring that up, the delay control on there works a treat. Now I'm somewhere near. I don't think I'm spot on, but it's going to stay as it is. So I'm just looking. I just want to make sure there are no messages. You do have to keep. There's a lot of things going on, isn't there? Like I said on the first over, and I forgot to keep looking down at the text on the Goonilly page, just to make sure I wasn't missing something or being told I had problems or anything. What else? Oh yeah, I'm still on the 60-day free period for the whole of the vMix program, so I really ought to try and make use of that while it's there. But I think the standard program, when that drops back to the free use program, will be more than adequate for what I want. Now, one thing I didn't mention was on the antennas. Both Dave G6GZT and Jenny G0VQH have had issues with the dual feed. Now, I'm not quite sure what came with the dual feed, whether there's a dielectric extension, a dielectric antenna or not, so I might be getting the facts wrong. But what Dave did, because Dave was using 1.2 metre dish on receive and with just an LNB at the feed only and not with a dual feed arrangement, he was getting well, I think he was getting 9 point something or other MER on the beacon, which I reckon is about as good as you could expect. And what he did, he was about 4 dB down, and Jenny was about 3 dB down as soon as he went to the dual feed. So what Dave did was to buy an LNB that had a dielectric antenna, pull that off, push that into the dual feed unit, and he's now getting 9.2, so I'm really pleased about that. But I'm almost hoping that Jenny still has a problem, because she's got a 3D printer and she's going to start printing up all sorts of dielectric antennas, so I think that should be quite interesting, so I hope she carries on with that, even if she gets an answer. What else have I got? Oh yes, although I thought I'd sorted all my problems out, the screen I'm looking at down here, which is showing me both Dave's output on the BATC streamer and the Goonhilly Spectrum display, that PC is running Windows 10, which I've given up on Windows 10 many times, although I'm told if I persevere it becomes easy. But I'm getting a fault on there. Well, on this PC there's only one 3.5mm socket, and I'm getting echo at the rate of about half a second. So that's rather strange. Well, that's the first time I've used that audio, which I need to copy you, John, but it's no problem. But I didn't know, John, I'm only getting you at 2 dB MER, and I didn't know you was on 265, so of course at 2 dB I'm not copying you anyway, even when I realise that. And I should have said I'm only getting 6 dB MER on the beacon, so I'm at least 3 dB down, so I'll be fine. I'm sure when I get that, John. You're not, yes, John, you're not much further down, so I'm only just locking up on everybody else, so don't worry about it. I mean, in my case, that's my problem. I should be getting more out of the 1.2 metre dish. But on this Windows 10, does everybody else, when they first start with it, have problems with Cantana? It's just driving me absolutely crazy. Thanks Phil G8MLA for watching for the video of how to get rid of that, but it just frustrates the hell out of me. I do normally use Linux, not as but only as a user. I don't have any software skills at all. What else? I think that's about it. Oh, except, you know, when was it I did the talk on DATV Optical? That could have been 2 years ago, couldn't it? You know, I never got any feedback on that. Either that or the article. So I don't think anybody was interested. But I was pleased to do all that, and I was certainly pleased to do the article. So that really forced me to redo a lot of stuff, so that I didn't put stuff in that was wrong. So anybody else who gets asked to do something like that, I would do it, because it's like when you give a talk to the club, isn't it? You always discover something that you should know, but you suddenly realise in preparing the talk that you're not quite sure of, so you always gain from that point of view. Right, we're pleased to know that's it for me, and I'm still not going to turn around. It is disgusting, this, as I'm getting older. So it's back to you again, Dave, isn't it? GKQ, G4HJW. I'll go on to the test card.
That was supposed to be a call sign. Right, G4HJW and the next GKQ. Okay, for Mike, the WD-40 can is still there, but I thought it was worth just a quick view across the bench of what I've been up to and how things are going. So I'm just doing a very slow pan. We'll just let it get to about there and see what we've got. Okay, top right is the scope, which gets used once in a while. Over here we've got a Portsdown 2020. This one here is actually doing the streaming. That's streaming from HDMI to the BATC streamer. Desoldering station up there, noise figure meter. Let's go further across. The box on the bench here, that's the development Portsdown 4 that I do all the development work on. I'm just keeping an eye on the stream, make sure things are reasonable. Display for my spectrum analyzer. This is the Ryde that I'm doing the development work on at the moment, and it's actually what I'm using for local copy. Further round, the Portsdown you can see there is this fella here, writing out, is the one is the one I'm using to transmit, or it's controlling a Jetson that's doing the transmitting. And then we get round to the computer area. Right, I'm just going to whiz this round to me again, and I'll come back to all the comments. And like Bernie, I've got the crib sheet. Am I going to be in the picture? Yes, I am. That's good. The popping, yeah, that's an easy cap problem, Bernie. Jim, I'm trying to sort it out, but it's just one of those ones that I can't seem to get rid of. Roger commented on the stream about the 10 kilohertz LNB. They reckon they're within frequency of 10 kilohertz. That's why they're called like they are. They're the Bullseye LNB sold by the RTL SDR website. Jim, you're doing a sterling job with those amplifiers. It's really good to see you helping getting so many people on. Really impressed with that. And Bernie helping all those stations get on in the fens. Yeah, I think some of the dual band feeds were sold with not very good dielectric lenses on them. I bought a Rocket LNB about 2.5 years ago and stole the lens off that. And yeah, on a 1.2 meter dish you should expect to get 9.5, 10 dB MER on the beacon currently. So a good dielectric lens is well worthwhile, and they are quite difficult to 3D print. The light DATV stuff, yeah, I read that with interest, but it never quite made it to the top of my to-do list, Bernie. I might perhaps need to have another look at that, but there's so much else going on. Windows, I'm not sure what problem you were talking about with Windows 10. It's not perfect, but I use Windows 10 as a test receiver all the time, and it does work. But I'm not quite sure what problem you were describing, so perhaps you could email and we can try and sort it out, or put it on the forum with some detail. Right, I think that's about it from me. Thank you very much for all coming on the net tonight. I know Tony wants to have a go, so I'll put it round to Tony. G0AZQ, I think he's going to transmit, to ask us the question from G8GKQ and the BATC Net. Good night all on behalf of the net.
And we have audio, right? Let's just kill that. So we don't get any feedback. Okay, thanks. Yeah, the question I just wanted to briefly ask. Sorry I didn't come on earlier. I had all sorts of problems with splitters and F connectors deciding to short themselves out, causing me all sorts of grief. But let me sort that out. It'd be easier to just buy a 4-way splitter rather than have a 3-way going into a 2-way. Right, the question is, what's the matter with the beacon? What's the problem with the beacon, Dave? Just a quickie, maybe you can answer it, or maybe everybody's got the same problem, and the uplink, you're going to tell me the uplink's the problem. Back to you. GHEKQG0.
Oh, I'm going to make lots of noise if I'm not careful. Let's turn that off. G0AZQ, G8GKQ. The problem with the beacon is in the encoder at the uplink, which is in Qatar. It's an SR Systems encoder, and we asked them to put it from a bandwidth of 2 megs down, or 2 megasymbols, down to 1.5. They did a firmware update that updated it to go to 1.5, but it's not happy. The SR Systems kit doesn't really function very well below 2 megasymbols, and basically some morning it is rebooted every night. Some mornings it boots up okay, some mornings it doesn't. The AMSET DL team are working within their resources to try and sort it out, but the problems are multiple. First of all, they need to come up with a software solution, and the guy doing the software has a day job. The next thing is, once they get their software solution, they then need to persuade the Qataris to open up the firewall so they can remote log into the kit and update it. So it's not an easy thing to fix. The great thing from our perspective, though, is it still provides a good signal for peaking on MER, even if the video isn't right. So that's where we are with the beacon. They are working to fix it, but it's not an easy job. G8GKQ, standing by.
Okay, Dave. Thanks very much for that info, and the only thing that I've got right is it was a problem with the uplink. I've got nobody else that's actually receiving M1 ASR. Graham isn't all up and running yet, so I've got nobody that I can ask as far as the downlink is concerned. So anyway, you've answered the question. Thank you very much. And as I say, sorry for not coming on a bit earlier on, but we'll get things sorted out for next week. and see if we can do something at the weekend as well with the bits and pieces that's going on there. So 7-3 all, and best regards to everybody that's been on tonight. G0AZQ off and clear.
Yep, camera back in normal place. Good night all, thanks for coming on the net. See you same place, same time next week. G8GKQ.
Right, hopefully it's working this time. It might be a bit too loud on my monitor there with the Ryde, but it is typical. The Ryde has been flawless through the entire net. Had no problems at all, which is great. Apart from it makes a noise, so I'll make it quiet. And yeah, okay. 7-3 everybody, and nice to hear you all. Just showing several carriers, but this dodgy looking one here where my mouse is wiggling about, that's what the beacon looks like with me. It's just broken, I'm afraid. So I guess we'll have to wait for them to get the chance to go and fix it. Right, that's probably too much signal.